Hey, Joseph. I see somebody else. I see two people. Amber. Hey, Amber. Welcome all. Welcome, welcome all. Welcome to Carol Sewing Corner. I'm still cutting my pattern, and since I'm on, if you guys still have questions, uh, I can still do some questions. Hey, Risha. I got all my big stuff cut. Now it's called my little stuff. I gotta do. Gonna head to the fabric stores in a bit. Did you mention how much of the weft interfacing we need? No, but for this project, a half a yard is what we're gonna need. We'll be using the weft for the sleeves of the jacket, um, and then for a couple of other things. So if you get a yard, that's fine. But if you plan on making a coat in the future or making something else out of a textured fabric, my minimum for any kind of interfacing is 3 to 5 yards. So interfacing is a tool. It's like scissors. You put it inside of everything. Buy enough so you don't have to keep visiting the fabric store. Okay. So when you go to the store, get 3 to 5 yards so you'll have it. It's not like you're gonna just be using it on this one project. So yeah, the less trips that we have to make to the fabric store, the better. So you buy whatever it is that you need and that you have an arsenal of it. So here's my weft interfacing. I always keep a lot of it. I make sure I have a bag of weft, a bag of knit, whatever I need so I don't have to run to the store. That's the worst thing in the world is to be in the middle of a project and then you gotta stop and go find the rest of your stuff. So 3 to 5 yards if you're going to be doing other projects. If you're only going to be concentrating on this, maybe you're a purse maker regularly or whatever, then go ahead and get a yard. Okay. Hey, hey, Sabs. That's not Sabs. That's Solibra. Hey, Solibra. Seems uneven. I'm calling you Solibra. You switched your pattern to Simplicity 8748, Risha, then you probably have the collar that I was mentioning. One collar piece that's saying to cut two. Can you do me a favor and confirm that, or let me know if you have an upper collar and an under collar? Not all Simplicity patterns do that, but the majority of them will have a single collar piece and not a two-piece collar. Let me know for sure if yours has what yours has. And that's just from me doing Simplicity jackets. It seems like the Simplicity jacket always has one piece. Y'all, I'm looking at this color blocked outfit that I'm working on. And I swear to God, I hate to say this, but I'm going to finish it today. But looking at this outfit makes me hungry. Makes me want a sandwich. Don't they look like lettuce and tomatoes and mayonnaise? It looks like lettuce, tomatoes, and mayonnaise. I want a sandwich. I hope nobody says that to me when I wear this thing. I was looking at this. I'm like, why does this look familiar? I'm like, this looks like a sandwich. It's an upper and an under collar. Okay, perfect. But I think it has that two-piece sleeve. You was looking at McCall's 7818. If it has a two-piece sleeve, Amber, On the line drawings, you will see a line on the back of the sleeve. And on here, you can see a line on the back of the sleeve. That will let you know that it is a two-piece sleeve. Okay, this one-piece sleeve does not show that seam there on the line drawing. So check the line drawing on your pattern. I'm looking at this, y'all. I want Subway. I think I'm having Subway for lunch. Let me stop. Okay, let me stop. There's a line, but it's very thin, so I think I'll just get the same pattern you have. Look, open up your instructions. Open up your instructions. It's on your instructions. On your pattern map, when you look at the instructions, open it up, and it's on the first page where all your pattern pieces are. Look on the list. If it says upper sleeve and under sleeve, then you're in good shape. If it just shows one sleeve that looks kind of like an ice cream cone, that's a single sleeve. So yeah, check your instructions before we make a determination. Let's do a real check. All right, does anybody have any questions? I just dropped down from like 20 something to 12. Am I freezing or anything like that? Is everything okay with my broadcast? And then Amber, let me know uh, what it says there. I'm okay? Okay, thanks. No freezing. Okay, good. Then those extra people must have just been lurkers. I didn't know people be lurking on the YouTube. For some reason, I never join anybody's YouTube live. Not like on TikTok. I don't have a problem like joining somebody's live, but on YouTube, I never just joined a random live on YouTube. It shows 20 people in your end. I only see 18. You guys, can you like the live if you are on the live? I just got done cutting all my pieces, and I think I'm gonna go to the Yep, it says upper and under sleeve. Awesome. And we're in good shape. I think I'm gonna go to the Salvation Army and get me a bed sheet because I am like freshly out. When all my babies were graduating from high school back in 2018, I kept bed sheets and shit because a gift to my siblings was the gift to my siblings was when your child graduates from high school, I'll alter or make their prom garment or graduation ceremony garment, whatever it is the child wants. So I made one, two, three. I made three prom dresses, altered two. One was beaded. I made two suits and one suit alteration and then one other alteration. So if you go by phone, it's Lurky. Okay, I saw that. So real. We are making. Actually, we're cutting out uh, pattern pieces for Vogue 1927. Myself and Shamir, who is right above you in the comments, we're hosting a tailored jacket series. So if you'd like to join, um, come and join me over on Instagram at ANSI2001. We are doing slow tailoring, and we are going to walk through the whole process, self-paced. And if you join on Instagram, we'll add you to a group. There's a materials list, everything that you need to move forward, and it's self-paced. But today we are cutting the patterns and getting ready for muslin. So if you like to join us, you are more than welcome. Up your skill game, up your level, contribute if you can, or learn. We are here for it. So you can join us. You want to join us. Just DM me on Instagram and say, add me to the group. And I will add you to the group. It's called Let's Get Bespoke. And if you don't like double breast, you're free to pick. You're free to pick a single-breasted jacket. That's fine. It can be any one of the pattern companies. The only thing that I suggest is that you have a peaked lapel collar, so you can learn about that. And we want a 2-part sleeve. We're going to be doing invisible patch pockets here. But if you have a welt pocket on your jacket, and maybe you haven't done welt pockets before, we'll be adding the tutorial when we get to that phase. And that's what we'll be doing. So you'll be learning how to tailor a jacket. And we just had a live, and I'm still working. Shamir had to go, and so I said I'm gonna go live and finish cutting out my pieces. So that's what I'm doing, and answering any questions that anybody may have left over from the live. And anybody that's joining, just like the live for me. And if you have any questions, you can go ahead and catch me while I'm here. And then after I put maybe a little bit more time into lettuce and tomato over here, I'm going to go to the Salvation Army and get me a top sheet. I'll probably just get, well, maybe I'll get like a king top sheet, and then I can make myself several muslins from that. And I just bring it home, throw it in the wash machine, let it wash and dry, and then I'm ready to go. And then if I do it on medium heat, when you guys put things in the dryer, if you're not trying to shrink something, put it on a medium heat, and that will keep you from needing to iron. You can just do a quick press if you need to, but the wrinkles are not going to be severe, because bed sheets, if you're using a bed sheet for muslin, it has some polyester content, so it's not going to be crazy wrinkled. Does anybody have any more questions they want to ask? Any more general questions? I am almost done. For the muslin, we cut the front, the back, the side piece, if applicable, sleeve, and collar. Yes. The side piece, if applicable because not all jackets are going to have a side piece. Some just connect with a side seam. This Vogue jacket actually has a piece that goes in the side, and that connects the front to the back. Oh, you're welcome, Amber. Has anybody here that's on the live now, is anybody here, not a tailor blazer, but is anybody here ever made a blazer, a jacket, or a coat? So put a yes in the comment, put a no in the comment. If this is your first time ever, let me know. And then, like, I see, yes, I have. Let me know how many you've made. Maybe I made one. Maybe I made two. If it's a combination, maybe you need one jacket and, you know, one jacket and one coat. That's two. So I see, hi, yes, I have. Yes, a jacket and a coat. Yes. Yes, I've made a blazer dress. Okay, that counts. Sabs one. Seems uneven first. Amber, no. I've made 4 coats and 1 blazer. Good, good. Hey, Tamika. Yes, made a jacket and a coat. Perfect, perfect. Maureen, 3 blazers. Hey, Maureen. I've been hearing good things about you. We'll talk later. And what's nice about this class, Shims, maybe H. Shamir. So here's the good thing about this class. You're going to learn how to up the skills of the blazer that you made. Everything that you'll learn in this tailor blazer class, you'll be able to transfer over to a coat if you want to add 2 coats and blazers or whatever going forward. And then when you do a fast blazer, or what I call a fast blazer, that it's got a lining but literally like a simplicity blazer, you construct it, stitch the lining and flip it inside out. The things that you're going to learn here, you will take that simple simplicity blazer and bring it up a notch. So there's going to be some things, like there's some things, I don't care what type of blazer it is, that I do to all of my jackets that I make. Not always all the detail, but you'll know when you need to do the tailoring detail to the jacket that you are going to do. I'm glad you're excited about the project. You made coats, blazers, but not since I've moved to Florida. Your mom used to tailor the canvas for me. That's cheating, Brooklyn Timmy. Now you're gonna learn how to do it. I mean, you've seen the process, so you'll get to learn the process. So there's a lot of things that when you get done with this actual jacket, you're gonna be like, ooh, this feel good. Ooh. So when you get done with that next jacket and it's quick and you need a palate cleanser, you're gonna be like, oh my goodness, something is missing from this jacket. And that's how I felt. I was like, this don't feel right. And so I started adding little things to the jackets now that I make. Now they feel right. I don't have to do the whole tailoring process, but I know what I can add to make a simple blazer feel good and add the longevity to, to its life. And now when I make a jacket, it's hard for me to just sew a jacket, sew the lining, and flip it inside out. I always got to do something extra. And I think that's what I want you all to start doing, add something, a little something extra will make that jacket last that much longer. This is your first blazer, and I am wondering how much this will increase my learning. You're gonna learn a whole lot. And you're gonna learn stuff that's not on the pattern instructions. Um, and so when you get a regular pattern or indie pattern, whatever it is that you use, um, there are instructions on how to put it together. So it's like instructions on completing the puzzle. Now we have a little bit extra. We're going to add a little bit extra that are not included in the instructions. When I started sewing for men as a business, I was always sewing for Casey, doing some things for Keith. And what I learned when I started doing more things for them is there's things on a garment that you buy that are not in the instructions. So I would go get a garment from my husband's closet, and I have a regular McCall's or Simplicity shirt pattern. And then I'm like, well, the pattern's not telling me to do this, but I know how to top stitch. So let me just add this in before I move forward. And then I move forward, and it's giving me the basics on how to do this, going through all the steps. And I'm like, well, wait a minute, this is not in the instructions, and so I included it in the garment. So I learned how to add to the existing instructions, which brought my garments up a level. That's what this is going to do for you guys going forward. Yeah, elevating your skills, and learn how to add to what's already out there, because you can do it. It's a part of sewing, and uh, it's expected for you to make quality garments for yourself. Hey, Eve. Um, so I am done cutting out my goodies. So I'm going to separate everything, because right now I just got this first stack. So I got my pocket and the flap, and this is how I keep my things together. The collar and the upper collar I'm going to put over there. Pocket and the flap. This is actually part of the jacket, so I'll put that there. These are small pieces, and I don't want these to get lost, so I like to keep these on top. Here is a facing. I consider the facing part of the lining because the facing goes inside the jacket. Here's my side piece, which I need for my muslin, which is going to be the fashion fabric. Here's the front lining piece. This is the left back lining. This is my lining stack over here. Upper sleeve and under sleeve stay here. This is part of the jacket. Upper sleeve lining goes in my lining pile. Here's my regular front piece. This is the right back lining. This is my lining piece. So this kind of takes the confusion out of the big stack of pattern pieces. This pattern is Vogue 1927, and this is the regular back. So now, here's my stack. When I do a big project, I usually have Post-its. I don't have any Post-its in here. I ran out. This is my lining stack. This has nothing to do with my muslin, so I'm not even going to be using that. Here's my muslin pieces. This is all I have to concentrate on. Here's my side back, my undersleeve and my upper sleeve, and then my front and my back. So this is all I need to create my lining. Okay? I mean, to create my muslin. I'm just going to be using these pieces. So when people see a lot of pieces, they get kind of confused. I want to take the confusion out. Separate your pieces. Maybe you might want to put a sticky note on top of them. These are the lining pieces. These are the fashion fabric pieces and muslin. So right now, concentrating on muslin. These are the only pieces that I'm going to use. I'm not going to be using anything else. I'm not going to be using my collar, my pockets. So I just set that aside. So this will be my muslin when I get done. I'm not doing any alterations to my pattern. Now I do have standard alterations that I do, but I'm going to skip that part since I'm teaching the class. I'm going to skip that part so you guys can actually see this pattern on my body straight out the envelope. That's what we're doing. So we're doing the pattern on your body straight out the envelope, and then when we get together next week, we'll have the muslin, and then you guys get to see. Holy smokes, Miss Carol. I'm easy to look at because I'm shorter. So you guys are gonna see the jacket's gonna be like this. The sleeves are gonna be like this. So you guys will see my muslin and y'all gonna be like, hell, the arms are too long. So I know I got to shorten the arms. You know, I'm gonna have to shorten the body. You guys will be able to read my muslin. So when you are learning how to read a muslin, then you'll know how to read a muslin on your own body. What is your muslin saying to you about the fit of your garment? So let's not make it more than it is. The only thing we're going to be doing is we're going to be taking this to this. See how I'm pulling the sleeve up? Pulling the sleeve up. I need shorter sleeve. I need a shorter torso. I need to bring this up. This is what we're going to be doing in the muslin class. Where do we need to make the measurements? And some people get confused, so let me see if I can take away some of the confusion. I have a lower bust, lower than the patterns show. Gravity has set in. Your girl just turned 60 a couple weeks ago. No, 2 weeks ago. So my body is saying, hey, you ain't 25 no more. So I have to make the alterations that work with my body. So when I put on a regular pattern, the bust is for B cup and it's size B perky. I ain't size B perky. I'm size C60. That's my size, right? So what I have to do, and you guys can actually see, here's the jacket pattern. This is the lapel. This is their double breast. Whenever you're wondering, the center front is marked on the pattern. Here's the center front. Center front is right there in the middle. So I know where to set it. It's right in the middle of my boobs. The lapel comes over. And look how long this jacket is. There's my knee right there. So we know we're going to have to shorten this. So what I would be saying is, like, if I'm doing a regular dress and it's got a dart in it. Normally the darts be way up here. So I'm like, I can't have no dart under my neck. So I need to move the dart down 2 inches. So how do you know it's 2 inches? Well, when I go to the paper and I measure the paper from the top of the shoulder down to the dart, maybe it's 12 inches. But then when I measure my shoulder on me to my bust point where the dart's supposed to be, it might be 13.5 inches. So the difference from their 12 inches and my 13.5 inches means that I need to bring my dart down 1.5 inches. I need to make their paper 13.5 inches. So I cut that dart out and I move it down 1.5 inches. Now their dart is 13.5 inches and my body is still 13.5 inches. Now the paper fits me. We're just adjusting the paper to fit your body. Okay, this pattern is Vogue 1927 1927. I've made a jacket but nothing tailored. Also, my jacket had fit issues, so I'm really here to learn how to do fit issues right, and we will definitely do that. Okay, so this is what we're going to be learning. Is that side seam on the side of the body, or is it moved up forward? Is it moved back or is it moved backward? So we're going to definitely adjust fit issues and talk about fit. And once we get the fit, we'll go back to the paper and we will make the paper look like your body. So let me do a quick in here. Y'all saw me take this paper and y'all saw me. Let me do it. Let me just do it one more time. This is what I have to deal with when it comes to paper pattern. Center front. Is right here. That's my middle. First I like to pull it to the side. And see, is it going to meet my side? And it is going to meet my natural side. Everybody's like, that's not your side. Remember, this jacket has a side piece. There's a side piece. So this has got to be not on my natural side, but it's at the quarter part, right? So I know you can actually see where it's black. There's a piece that fills that in. And then this connects to the back. So then then I'll have the back of my jacket. But you can see here, it's way too long. This thing is longer than the shorts I have on, unless my shorts are like hoochie length, and I don't think they're hoochie length. So, what am I gonna have to do? Right here at the length and shorten line, here at the middle, I'm gonna have to go in, and I'm going to have to slash and decrease. I'll be cutting the pattern. And this is the part that confuses people. Lengthen and shorten lines are on patterns so you can do fit adjustments. And everybody's solution to fit adjustments is cut it off the bottom or add it to the bottom. We're going to learn how to do fit adjustments without cutting off the bottom or adding to the bottom. Okay, so now you see I folded this pattern up a couple of inches. And so now we lost some inches. And now taking into consideration that there's going to be about an inch hem in the bottom, this jacket now is in the realm where I need it to be in order to fit me correctly. And when you look at the ladies on the pattern envelope, this jacket is at their thighs. So this jacket will be at my thighs where it's supposed to be, hanging where it's supposed to hang. Okay, so this is how you alter a pattern to match your body, and this is what we're going to be learning from the muslin series, or from getting the fit correctly. With this tailored jacket, however, we are going to be making changes, and you may have a larger bottom and a smaller top. We're going to be making several adjustments, and we're going to be making several muslins. So don't be like, I don't want to do all of that. Remember, when you start this, that a tailored jacket is tailored to fit you and you only, and it's going to take some time. It's not a quick process. If you think it's going to be quick, you are sadly mistaken. It's not a quick process. What day are we meeting? Sundays are good for me and Shamir, so Sundays are the best. So when we do the Zoom, there's going to be some Sundays. There may even be some Fridays, but when you join the Instagram group, you'll get the meeting dates way before they happen, at least a week before they happen. So if you're not going to be there, or you need to adjust your schedule, you'll be able to. We're not just gonna pop up and be like, "Hey, we got a Zoom tomorrow," and you're like, "No, I got surgery tomorrow." So we're gonna do it in advance, so you definitely know. All right, and the Zooms are um, good because the group is called Let's Get Bespoke. But DM me on Instagram. I'm Ancy2001 and say, uh, Auntie Carol or Miss Carol, add me to the group. Just send me a DM so I can add you to the group. And then once you get in the group, Shamir has all of the materials and information that you need for this whole thing. Um, but yeah, we'll be doing mainly on Sundays. Sunday's good for me, good for Shamir. And it seems like we have a larger group on Sunday, so I think Sunday is good. But um, I may pop on live at any time just to talk. But the structured classes where we get together, me and Shamir, and we're going to be doing things together or with you guys will be on Sundays. And when I pop on a live, I may be just talking about my progress and things like that. When you get the sheet for muslin, is it the thicker one? No, it's the top sheet. And it doesn't have to be, I mean, it doesn't matter. Just as long as it's cotton. It can be flannel, can be jersey. Jersey is uh, but what do you mean the list? I'm confused. I'm in the group, but can't find the let's be bespoke information help. No, you literally have to go through the chat, and then you'll see Shamir's links throughout. Literally go through the history, and you'll be able to see everything. You're gonna have to scroll. Um, you're gonna have to scroll, and just check the history. Go back, and take your time. And then if you have, to have some time, go ahead and read because there's some valid questions there. Shamir has lots of links in there. You just kind of have to take your time and scroll through so you can read it. Oh, the materials list. Yeah, Monica, that's in the chat as well. You just got to take your time and scroll through and you'll see the things in there. I don't know if there's a search function on there. There may even be a search function where you can go and click the little magnifying glass and maybe type materials list or something like that, and it'll pop you right through in the chat. Because, of course, since we've been adding people, the chat has definitely grown. But yeah, scroll through and you'll find everything that Shamir was referencing in the live that we just came out of. Okay, and then, like I said, go ahead and get your pattern cut and take your time. If you don't have your muslin cut next week, don't threat and don't fret. Because life be lifing. This is self-paced. If you come in and we're doing fashion fabric and you're still on muslin, we can still answer your questions. Take your time. I want everybody to take their time, and this is certainly not rushed. Okay. Should I go up a size on the pattern? I spoke about going up a size. When you go up a size on a pattern because something doesn't fit, you don't see a search, but Shamir posted this morning. Oh, okay. If Shamir posted this morning about a lot of stuff, then you shouldn't have to scroll too far up to get her information for today. When you go up a size on a pattern, everything gets bigger, not just what you're trying to fit. Everything gets bigger. So in the live, we were talking about bicep adjustments. So somebody said, should I go up a size because my bicep doesn't fit or it's kind of tight? Well, the arm's eye, the neck, the shoulder, the wrist, the forearm, fits, the bicep is a little tight. You go up a size, this is going to fit. Everything else is going to be too big. So going up a size is not the answer. Where does the majority fit? Size 18, right? But in a size 18, my bicep is tight, my bust is a little tight. We can fix the bust, we can fix the bicep to work with the size 18 that fits everything else. So if everything is too small, go up a size, then everything fits. But if you only have one or two things that don't fit in a size, those can be adjusted. Because if you go up a size, now we got two things to fit, everything else is too big. Does that make sense, Catrice? This is why we're doing fit adjustments. We will learn how to fit the part of the body that's just not getting in that part of the muslin. Everything else fits, but this part is a little tight. Perfect, perfect. So yeah, that's where we mess up. Well, my bust don't fit. And then you be like, I'm gonna go up a size. And the whole damn dress is too big, but your bust fit. That's why you have to learn how to do full bust adjustment. That's just an adjustment in the boob area. So the boobs fit. The rest of the dress fit, but the boobs are too tight. Let's open up that boob area. Now everything fits. Now the bust fits in that smaller size. My arms don't fit, but everything else fits. The hips, the waist, and everything. You go up a size, now your arms fit. Everything else is too big. So we have to understand that once we get in, let's target the areas that are tight. You can get in it, but they'll be tight. Let's loosen up the areas that are tight. And now this size will fit with some adjustments. So that's what fitting is. And a lot of people really think the answer to fit is moving up a size. And then when they're done, they're like, I don't wear that dress, girl. It's huge. It don't fit me. So we're gonna stop that. So I want you guys to understand how fit works. Yeah. And so that's like the simplest way for me to translate. And like I said, I learned fit by trial and error because I'm short, but I have a full body. My biggest issue is the fupa area and the wide back. The fupa area we don't have to worry about with the jacket, but the wide back with the hips will definitely address the hips. Okay, and letting out the pattern so that it still looks like a blazer, but it doesn't look like a dress. Okay. So, while I got you guys on, for those of you who have your muslins cut out, not your muslins cut out, you have your patterns cut out. The lengthen and shorten lines that are on your patterns are in key places. You can see the waistline here. Lengthen and shorten line is right above the light waistline. So what happens is, if you have a longer torso or shorter torso, when you make that adjustment here, it adjusts where the waist is. If you have a shorter torso, you're going to decrease your pattern. That means you're going to fold out or cut out some of the excess. This waistline is going to move up where it needs to be. If you're taller, when you slash and you spread it open, then the waistline moves down because you have a larger torso. Or the waistline will move down where you need it to be. So these are the reason why these lines are where they are. On a sleeve, Lengthen and shorten lines are near the elbow or right below the elbow. If you look at the pattern piece, you can see that it's kind of like a cone shape. It's wider here at the top because the bicep is here and the muscle is here. And there's an adjustment in case you have a longer arm or you have a longer bicep. And then here's the lengthen and shorten line to shorten and lengthen the forearm. We don't want to mess with this area right here. This is where the elbow is. That's why we have this extra area here. It's called ease. It's there for you to bend and move your elbow. This is the part of the body that moves. So we need room there. Okay. So this is how you lengthen your arms or shorten your arms in these areas, depending on where you need to be lengthened and shortened. If your bicep is bigger here, I will show you guys how to open up the bicep area so that we have extra room here, and that alteration does not affect the outside here of the pattern or the outside here of the pattern. Regular tailoring alterations, what they do is they add to the sides, and this is increased or decreased, and then the increase may be here, and we go back to 0. When you go back to 0, that means we're going back to the original line on the pattern. You may increase here, add here, and then go back to 0. And then on the side, we'll leave the side the same, so we have increased the bicep here. So there's a couple of ways that you can do it. You can add to the outside and then go to 0, or you can cut through the middle and add fabric where you need it in your largest area. I like to cut into the middle because it does not take away the initial shape of the actual pattern. We're not redrawing and retrawing the outside lines. We're just adding fabric in the middle where we need to add it. My adjustment will be to eliminate the plate in the back. My back side sticks out. Can I eliminate the plate? I'm using the Vogue pattern. You'll do what's called a sway back adjustment, and the sway back adjustment eliminates extra fabric when you have this curved area of your body, this curved like this, from the back to the butt, how it slopes out. What happens is extra fabric sits right here, and it also causes the jacket to ride up. So what we'll do is we will take out that extra fabric, and it'll lay here on this line, so the jacket will fit to the curve of your body. And then when you do the getting rid of all this extra fabric here, that causes the center back to move up. Then we just go down and we take all the fabric we removed here, we're adding it to the bottom. We're going to take it and move it to a different part of the pattern. So now that center back line is shorter, but that shortness here, we took it and we put it back on the bottom to balance out the pattern. We're going to do all of that, and I'm going to try my best to make it make sense to everybody that has fit issues. So like I said, you can take it with you moving forward to other patterns. All right, Adele, does that make sense? We take it away from one area and we add it to another area. It's all about balance and keeping these hems and everything parallel to the floor. Perfect. Okay, well, I'm all done, and it is past my time. I'm going to go to the Salvation Army, get me a sheet, wash it, and enjoy the weather outside. Then I'm gonna come back. I'm gonna work on my Subway sandwich. I'm gonna get me a Subway too. This is my my lettuce, tomatoes, and mayo outfit. I'm gonna give me a sandwich. I was looking at this thing. I'm like, what does this look like? I'm like, why am I hungry all of a sudden? You're welcome, everybody. So, does anybody else want the Subway? Oh my God. I'm wearing this outfit. I'm wearing it to work. But if I wore this like around my friends, my core friends, they would clown me to death. Somebody would be like, why am I hungry all of a sudden? Lettuce, tomatoes, and mayo. That's what this outfit looks like. But that's okay. Oh my God. So now I see what I need to do is I kind of need to neutralize this a little bit, and that's what I'll do with my buttons and the other things that I have in mind to go this out. Right, the comedy club continues. Did you were on yesterday when I was making my pressing tools talk? $5 foot. Is that on today? I should wear this outfit when I go get a sandwich. I'll be like, can I talk to your marketing director, please? I'll tell y'all what y'all do next time y'all go to Subway. Do what I did. How can I help you? I said, can you make my sandwich look like that on the picture? Everybody on the other side of the counter was in tears. They were literally dying laughing. I was like, yeah, what would you like? I would like my sandwich to look like that one on the picture. It was like, no. Lettuce, tomatoes, and mayo. You're gonna practice your stitches to see how much I remember. All right. Catch stitch is a big one. We're gonna be catch stitching. We're going to be uh, basting, catch stitching, basting, and what else are we gonna be doing? Pad stitching. Look up pad stitching, you guys. Pad stitching and diagonal basting. Look those up in the books. Pad stitching and diagonal basting. Get you a small piece of fabric and sit down and work it out. And when you do your sewing, you're going to be working from left to right. Not right to left is how it's going to feel, but you're going to be working from left to right. All stitches start on the left side and they go to the right. Left side to right. So practice that. You'll be stitching from the left to the right. Okay? Question above. Please answer. Eve, the techniques you're teaching us, can it be applied to other garments, pants, and tops? Yes. Yes, yes. Everything you learn on this jacket will be applied to other garments. Yes. Yes, yes, yes. Some of them you'll be able to use, some of them you won't, but definitely all the hand stitching. The only thing you can't transfer to a blouse would be adding a hair canvas and pad stitching. Those are only for jackets. How much can you shorten in a spot? Catch, pad, diagonal basting, and skip basting or just basting. Those are the things we're going to be using the most. Pad stitching. It's pad, P-A-D. Pad stitching. How much, Latoya, one more time. How much can you shorten in that spot? In what spot? Whenever you make any shorten adjustments, length or shorten adjustments, the maximum is 2 inches. And I'll explain all of that. The maximum is 2 inches. And then you need to lengthen it or shorten in another area. Because if you go over 2 inches, you're going to start distorting your pattern. And that's something else. That's extra work you don't want to do. You'd rather slash and spread it somewhere else than sitting up truing lines because you may mess up with a true. And now we're talking about jacking up the actual pattern itself. And we want to preserve the pattern and all of the lines on the pattern as true as possible, to avoid further fit issues when you cut into your fashion fabric. Okay, and this is when you learn this is something that you're going to have to take to heart, because if you try and deviate and go another way, you certainly will run into issues. Because I did that when I was learning how to do it. I'm like, I don't need to do all of that. I'm gonna try this, and sure enough, I ran into issues. So, and then I was just like, was so headstrong on doing it my way, I forgot the right way, and I had to ask the lady to show me again, and she was like, she had that bitch, you should have been listening, look in her eyes. I told you not to do that, and And then I had an aha moment. Then when I had an aha moment, I was like, man, I've been thinking way too much into this process. So it's really not as hard as we think it is. The first thing we think is math. Yeah, math, gotta be doing math, You only have to do math when you're drafting, when you are drafting on a piece of paper. Then you have to do some math. But when you're doing pattern alterations, you don't have to math. You just have to draw lines. And that's what the rulers are for. All right. That's how your mom was. She had that look in her eyes. So, and when I learned from people that I didn't know. So to them, I was a student, shut up and learn. And I never had um, the questions that were intuitive. My questions were always smart alecky because I thought I knew everything. Um, and yeah, learning the real tricks of the trade was very humbling for me. And like I said, that's part of the reason why I do what I do, so I can show you guys what I've learned. And I made a whole lot of mistakes. Um, I'm still not perfect. I'm not the best that there is. I don't know if I'll ever be. Um, but uh, this is a learning process, and I like the learning process. I love learning new things, and I love teaching everybody what I know, because I want you all to enjoy this as much as I do. And I really love sewing. I really do. I love sewing because I like to have my wardrobe, and I like to have fancy clothes, and I don't have to spend a whole lot of money on them, but they look like $1,000,000 when I'm done. That's what I love about sewing. And then even sometimes too, you can look like a sandwich if you need to. You know what there is there and that is, you know what, Brooklyn Timmy, I'm gonna say this, and I know it may sound shady, um, but I'm gonna say this: sewing is a time-honored tradition. It's been out since the little black girl and Martha Washington made the flag. They were doing everything by hand, and then Mr. Singer said, my wife is bitching about making me a shirt, so let me figure out how to make this easier for her. Because I don't believe he was somewhere trying to sew. I think he had a wife that was like, I ain't making you shit until you figure out how to make this easier, right? So then the sewing machine was created. The Vogue sewing book that I have was from 1973, and they have been sewing well beyond, way before 1973. Now it is 2025, getting ready to be 2026, and we are still sewing following the same rules. This Vogue sewing book from 1973 is still relevant, and it is still showing us the things that we need to do to create good garments. So when I hear some of the newer learners say, well, you don't have to do this, and it's about that, it's about this. The only thing it's about is, yes, we all make mistakes and we are going to get better. But changing the process, this ain't something that you change because it's been around forever. And there is more than one way to skin a cat, but you're not discovering anything new. You're just learning the other way to do it. So when I hear, well, you don't have to do it then, and it doesn't have to be this, and it doesn't have to be that. If you want it to work out, yes, you do need to do it that way. And why? Because it's documented. That's why. So follow the documents and follow the tricks of the trade. It's a skill. This is not, it's not a hobby. It's a skill. People did this for a living. So follow the rules and you won't waste your time. I think that's the best way that I can put it. Follow the rules. Don't make it up as you go. It's already here. It's been here since the beginning. Why do you want to change it? Yeah. Why change it? If it ain't broke, don't fix it. So learn how to fix it. Don't make up your own way to fix it, because your way to fix it, why would you come up with a new way to fix it when the old way works perfectly fine? And not only does it work perfectly fine, it's yielding the best results, and it's yielding better results than what you were trying to do. You still trace your darts and markings or use tailor tacks versus lifting the pattern to use a marking pen. I do both. And both ways are documented, right? So that's what I mean by whatever works for you, and that there's more ways to skin a cat. Yes, we have more ways, but I've seen people try and make up their own. Well, this is what I do. Is it documented? And are you wondering why yours looks the way it does? Because you made it up? That's the part I don't get. That's something I never, because my goal for learning how to sew was to make the clothes that were in Bloomingdale's. Because I know I couldn't do nothing in Bloomingdale's but go in there and use the bathroom, right? And then come on out. I couldn't even buy socks in there. Because I'm like, they sell these socks at Walmart. So I knew I could save money, right? Because the name was Bloomingdale's. But Bloomingdale's has some things in there that Walmart don't carry, right? And it was some clothing items. And so I'm like, if I make it, here's my, and I'm a very logical thinker. If I make it and follow the rules, just like the person who made this follow the rules, then I can get there eventually and I won't have to go to Bloomingdale's. I can create it myself. But if I gotta follow the rules and the standard that they did. So that was my goal. I wanted to make high-end clothing for myself and not have to pay for the work. Do the work myself, learn it the correct way, and practice on it until I felt comfortable enough. I have you guys fooled. That's the goal. When people see me online with clothes, they don't know if I bought them or if I made them. And that's the end goal. If you can fool a sewist, then you got it going on. Because I've had lots of people who sew. Like, did you make that? You should already know. But you know, they'll scan the garment and look, and they can't tell. And that's the end goal, the trick. That's what I use as a benchmark. That's just me. So that's my goal. Full once I reached the benchmark, I was like, all right, let me see if I can fool the people who sew. Let's see if people who sew ask me if I made it. So, and then when people who sew are fascinated that you made a garment because they couldn't tell, that's when they start lifting up your shit and going inside and looking for your tag and you know. My regular friends that don't sew, they don't understand that. People touching you, don't touch me. I'm like, no, y'all don't understand. That's just what we do. We just want to see what's going on. You know, I have many people ask me to open up my jacket. Open up your jacket. Let me see the insides. I just take it off. You know, that's what we do. So you just have to kind of, you know, set yourself a benchmark, but don't question a time honored tradition. Just get your book, learn, practice, follow the rules. Maybe you might not be a stitch master, but at least you're doing what is documented and to the best of your ability. Don't make shit up. There's a lot of people out there trying to make shit up and wondering why they're here and they can't get here. So, the reason why I'm doing this is to take you from here to here. So maybe your sewing skill or your neatness is not quite there, but your knowledge is there. At least you know how to get from here to here. Now, if you choose to stay here, then that's your choice. But if you're going to be here because you don't care about time honored traditions, you don't care about what's documented, and you don't read, then you're just going to stay there. I had a person uh, told me, I ain't doing nothing if it's got more than 9 pieces. And guess what? At that level is where she's going to stay. She'll never make a jacket like this. She'll never make pleated pants. She'll never make anything other than a 9 piece garment. I don't want my closet full of 9 piece garments. 9 piece garments, they don't sell at Bloomingdale's. They don't sell those. In the pajama department, they do. No, they don't. Because in the department, they sell silk. So you got to have 10 pieces to something's treating the silk. So you're going to be wearing cotton pajamas. So just up your levels, up your skill levels. Don't fight it. You know, don't fight it. Just let's do what we need to do. I'm going to show you guys what I've learned in school, what I learned from the books. And that's why we reference in the books. You know, use the books. They're there. The Vogue Sewing book is an old book. They have some revisions and things like that, but the basic information is all the same. Hand stitches are all the same. Everything is the same. We're not changing anything. So, this is the way I do it. I'm like, okay, you keep doing that. That's what you'll hear from me. Okay, you can do it your way. But please don't ask me, why does my stuff look this way? All designers still designing 9+ piece garments. Not any that I know. Not know that I've seen. No, they're not doing. But some of the patterns have 9 pieces and less. To me, those patterns are good. Those patterns are good palette cleansers when I lose my sojo, and that is only so I don't have to do a whole lot of work and I don't have to think about my next garment. It just gets me in my room. It gets me a garment and it gets me sewing. That's, you know, I don't mind the pattern pieces that are the patterns that have less than 9 pieces because I sew them myself. But my whole wardrobe is not 9 piece patterns. There's more. There's more. I've expanded. Looking at a pair of pants I paid a lot of money for. I was getting my money's worth. So when I wore it out, she darned it by hand. The stitches are so tiny and precise. I've never done darning by hand. I've always done darning by machine. But that darning by hand, that's old school. That's a lot of work. The process takes a long time. But I've done machine darning for people that wanted to save jeans that were ribbed and that kind of thing. So darning definitely works, but you have to do it so that the stitches are small and that it almost looks like a weaved patch. So I've done that before too. So yeah, there's a lot of things that you can try, read about, and then give it a try. That's what I did. I was fascinated. Sewing fascinates me. Um, not only does it calm my spirits and offer therapy, but it's fascinating to think that people were making clothing before the sewing machine. They were making quilts and clothes, and people were not walking around naked back in the early 1800s, 1700s, before the sewing machine was created. People were learning, they learned how to do it without a sewing machine. We have gotten soft. And tailoring is around because it's an old time modern tradition, and it is the way things were done. We have certainly softened the way things were done, being you know spoiled by the big Bugatti over here. This machine does everything but make dinner. And this kind of stuff can spoil you, so you have to make sure you go back to the basics and the way things used to be done, so you know that you're doing it correctly, um, and that everything is, you know, working, fits for you, and all of that extra stuff. All right. That being said, I'm going to stop right here. And yeah, I will see you all throughout the week on these here internets. All right, y'all. Have a good one. And I'll talk to y'all later. Bye, y'all. Don't forget to DM me if you're not a part of the group. Brooklyn Timmy, you could have kept that one. All right, y'all. See y'all later.